Okay, closing and resolving concerns. You will probably not be good at closing and resolving concerns. Okay, when you first start the business, accept that as a fact. Okay, unless you are one of the just a genius at network marketing and you have that gene, you will probably not be good at doing this. That's why you need third-party validation, because I promise you, I can ask your family and friends if they're ready to join the business, and it doesn't bother me what their response is. I'm not ashamed to ask them if they're ready to invest $1,200 into changing their life. I'm not embarrassed to tell them this is network marketing and see what they like about it or what they don't, answer their questions. So if you can use third-party validation on this, I promise you, you'll get more people saying yes than you would on your own. When we first started with network marketing, there wasn't one of my friends that if you asked them to write down 5 characteristics of Shawn Poe, that they would have been, okay, yes, he's a network marketing expert. He knows everything about nutraceuticals. He's really got a grasp of this industry. None of that, okay? Because that wasn't me. And they had a concrete idea in their head of what I knew and what I didn't know. And network marketing and nutraceuticals were not things that they thought that I knew about, and I didn't. Okay, but the reality is I could get them on the phone with a complete stranger who maybe didn't know any more than I did, but they didn't have those concrete ideas in their head of what they knew and what they didn't know. So hearing it from a stranger allowed them to break down that wall and to be like, okay, I'm open to hearing what they're saying, okay? And over the course of time, you'll be able to do more of this, but we still to this date always use some sort of third-party validation throughout the course of us getting the information in front of people. And especially if we need to help get somebody closed or resolving their concerns, is saying, hey, great question, you know, I know who the perfect person to answer that would be. Now, the key with getting third-party validation on the phone is not asking for permission. If you ask one of your friends or family if you can get a stranger on the phone, what's their likely answer? No, don't do that. I can just get it. I can look it up, or you can just tell me whatever it is. So we used to just, you know, we would have that person available and expecting our call. We built a lot of this over the telephone. And so we might say, hey, Mark and Joanne and Carrie, we're going to be calling people from 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. Would you be available for third party if we need it? And one of them, you know, would figure it out, or if none of them were available, they would help us find somebody that would be. And so as we're having that conversation with them, they've seen the ABC Primetime video. We've asked them what they liked best about it. And now they're getting into the question mode. And we could honestly say when we first started, I don't know. You know, I'm really new to this. I'm excited. I'm super passionate. Hold on a second. Great question. And then we're dialing up somebody else. Third-party validation. They don't know why we put them on hold, actually, because we didn't tell them. We didn't ask for permission. One of my kids could have been running down the hallway with a pair of scissors for all they know, and I told them to hold on. And then I'm getting somebody else on the phone, and I'm saying, hey, you know, we were just talking about this, and I want you to meet my good business partner. She's super busy, but she actually can relate to what you were just talking about in your question about Axio and ADHD. Okay, she's had experience with this herself, and I know she's going to be the perfect person. Find some sort of connection that makes sense for them to quickly talk to each other, and don't expect them to be on the phone for 2 hours, right? Try to make it quick and concise. If it ends up going longer, great, but recognize that people are busy, and if they want to take more time, they will. But ask question after question after question. And as they ask questions, you can use that bottom right technique of feel, felt, found. So for me, like I didn't like network marketing, or I had a negative stigma attached to it. I didn't have a reason why. I had security licenses in the past. I understood business. And when I looked at the financials, they stunk. Back in 2011, there were some questionable things that were going on financially, and I didn't know. I told Michelle, I don't know if they'll open the company doors next month, let alone next year. But they got me connected with Carrie Williams, and she answered my questions, and she, you know, used things like feel, felt, found. I can see how you feel, you know, that way. I felt the same way. What I actually found is this: You know, the company, they put out all these options and warrants to private investors to keep the doors open because the retail channels weren't working. And that's why it went into person-to-person distribution, because there was a story to be told. And sitting on the shelves of GNC, nobody was walking in asking for a bottle of oxidative stress reducer, right? That just wasn't reality, and that was causing the business to go bankrupt. So understand with them, if you don't have that same feeling, you can relate it to somebody else that you know. You know, hey, I honestly, I wasn't in that position when I first got started, but my friend Gigi from Fiji, you know, she felt the same way. And what she found as she went along with this was Michelle and I's heart. It wasn't to get people roped into a network marketing business. It was to lock arms with people that want to change the world. And things like that. So again, you're using that feel, felt, found approach to resolve concerns and validate the concern. Don't tell them it's a stupid, you know, concern. Validate it. Let them know that it's okay to think like that, but find a way to navigate it and turn it into a positive aspect. And then you've got to ask the closing questions or have somebody on the phone that's willing to do it. You know, somebody could be totally excited about it and ready to buy, but if you're not asking the closing question or getting them to the process of knowing whether they're a yes or a no or a maybe, it does you no good. They just have information at that point. So things that you could do is ask them, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you? And anything above a 3 is pretty good. And maybe they say a 6 or a 7, and ask them, why aren't you a 3? And then they're going to frame it in positive light instead of saying, okay, you're a 7, why aren't you a 10? That's looking for the negative. That's looking for the holes. But if you say, okay, you're a 6, why didn't you say 2? Then they're going to tell you the positive things, and you can work around the positive to get them to that point. And you know, you might be surprised, and they're like, I'm a 9, I'm ready to get started right now. And unless you ask the questions or have somebody on the call to ask the questions, you might not know. And again, third party, it's way easier for me to ask. I struggle even today to ask my friends for $1,250 to get started. But I know if I get, you know, Dr. Gordon on the phone, he's going to ask that question, and he's going to get people into the system as fast as possible. So does that make sense? We good with closing and resolving concerns? This is a 10,000 foot overview. You're going to continue to learn 7 years into the business like Michelle and I are. Okay, you're not going to be an expert, but I want you to know these tools are in place and they work. And if we all use the same messaging as we go about doing the business, that's why we put this PDF file together. It's no different than the blueprint, you guys. We just want you to have a source at your hands that as soon as you sign somebody up, they might not have their business pack yet. They might not have anything, and this can walk them through immediately how to do it. Or you're looking to reset your business, and this just shapes it a little bit differently and asks you different questions or gives you different advice on how to build the business. But this is no different than what we did 6.5 years ago.